please like, share, and subscribe. Thanks, everyone.
Hey guys, welcome to our channel. I'm so happy that you're here and glad to be surrounded by like-minded people, which I consider you to be since you clicked on this video, so you must be interested in the topic, right? I look forward to reading your comments and getting to know you like you're getting to know me. Welcome to my journey. They're never smooth, they're never linear. It's always a whole lot of this. So I want to share that with you guys and hopefully inspire somebody who may be considering getting surgery and is kind of hesitant. From me to you, to my pre-op self. I have my notes here, so don't mind if I do look down. First things first, expect the unexpected. Honestly, there's so many things that you're going to experience that are going to surprise you. From the foamies to the slime. Those of you who may not have heard of that, let me explain. So foamies, it's something that typically kind of like it's this frothy looking stuff, almost like the froth that you would see on the top of a coffee, like a cappuccino or something like that, that you actually produce through your stomach. So it's almost like stomach acids that have kind of come up, and yeah, they're just basically there in the toilet staring at you, foamies. I'd never heard of them before having the surgery and joining the Facebook groups that I joined. But yeah, if you eat too much or you eat foods that you're not supposed to be eating, foods that are not recommended post-op, you will see foamies in the toilet after you eat. Yes. You basically like vomit foamies, I should explain. And sometimes you also vomit slime. I know that sounds totally nasty, but yeah, you will vomit slime. So when I say expect the unexpected, it's crazy stuff like that I mean. Like your body will do stuff that you would have never imagined. So yeah, expect the unexpected. Number 2, a multitude of factors will affect how much weight you lose and how quickly you lose it. These factors range from, the food that you're eating, to the amount of exercise that you're doing, the amount of water that you're drinking, and how often you're drinking it. How closely you're following the post-op diet that you were given by your surgeon. Also, your stress levels. Is work, school, your kids, your spouse, your relatives, your parents, your in-laws, how much are they stressing you out? How are you coping? And your support system. Do you have a good support system? Or is it a situation where everybody that you've told about your surgery are critiquing your decision to have surgery and, they don't see the reason for it? Why can't you just lose it naturally? Just seemingly little stuff like that end up really attacking you and messing with your mental health and your emotional well-being, and that lead you back to those old habits of wanting to binge or stuff like that. Me personally, post-op, I was dealing with a lot of stress in terms of my job. There was a very big project that we had to work on. My mom was going through stress with her employer, and that was causing me stress because I felt helpless, like I couldn't assist her the way I normally would. I was also dealing with the stress of considering a move, and that has been taking its toll as well. House hunting, see if you qualify for a mortgage, yada yada yada, like all that. It's a lot. And then just adjusting to like regular life. So in terms of going out with friends, typically as young people, we'll go to a restaurant, or even if you're going to somebody's house, normally they'll cook you dinner, cook you lunch. You have to be mindful of those things when you've had gastric sleeve surgery, because your stomach is now so petit, it's so small that it's like your options are limited, and you don't want to offend people by saying like, oh, I can't eat all that if they serve you with a plate of food, but these are the kind of stuff that you have to be navigating, and it's all stressful. but it's something that you have to adjust to, and it's something that I am still learning to adjust to, but it is something that can be done, and it is possible to adjust, and it is possible to be well and be happy. So just keep going. And even when you do have stalls with your weight, which happens, typically they say it's about 6 months post-op, you'll experience your first plateau or stall where you don't lose anything. The scale just stops moving and you're like, what the hell is going on? What the? But, you know, it's all about working around it and figuring out, okay, what steps can I take next to get past this plateau? Because that's just it. You don't want to be stagnant and you don't want to just stay there if you haven't reached your goal weight as of yet. You want to keep going, right? So in those cases, you just have to look at your current lifestyle and see what tweaks you need to make. So again, if that means maybe walking an extra 30 minutes a day so you're getting that extra exercise, or drinking water on a more regular basis so that you're detoxing all those toxins that are in your body, you're flushing out those toxins. Or does it mean eating smaller portions, or using like one of those weight scales where you weigh your food, or using a measuring cup? Like I have a mini 2-ounce measuring cup that I use sometimes. Not as often as I should, I will admit. But yeah, those are all tools that you can use to kind of just push yourself a little bit further and see
what extra weight you can lose.
I can definitely say for myself, I've already experienced stalls and a plateau. I can say for myself, I've already experienced a stall. When I first had surgery, that first week I dropped 8.5 pounds, and I was ecstatic. I was like to the moon with it. I was so happy, so happy, because that was the largest decline I've seen in my weight in like 2 years. I hadn't seen myself lose so much at once. So it was just amazing to see. And then the following week I lost 6.5 pounds. So I'm like, okay, this is good. And I'm just expecting it to keep going, and that didn't happen. And why? As I said, I was experiencing a lot of stress. So, you know, when the cortisol hormone is in your body, it clings to the fat. It hangs on to it because it's like a source of protection. It's like a source of comfort. So your body's like, oh, she's going through stress. Well, let me cling to this fat so that she doesn't die. She needs the extra fat to live. So that's what was happening to me. So the fat clung to me, and then it didn't help that I was starting to move through the stages of the post-op diet. So you're in stage 1, where you're just having those clear liquids. So as I said before, broth, water, tea, stuff. So of course, when you're not consuming any food and it's just liquids, anybody's gonna lose weight. That's just normal, right? Okay, second week now, you're moving into full liquids, where you're able to have liquids that are a little bit thicker. So like
Protein shakes, fruit smoothies that have been strained. There was a brand that I really liked, I'll insert here. Drinkable yogurts.
In my case, like my mom, we would do just like store-bought soups. I was kind of afraid to have the regular like split pea soups and stuff like that, because I didn't, you know, normally those soups are nice and thick and they're creamy and stuff like that. I was afraid of how my stomach would react to that. So I got like Campbell's soups in the can. Sorry guys, water break. As I said to you, drinking water is really important post-op. Soy milk, you're drinking soups that are strained so that, you know, they're not having little particles in it that can get caught in your stitches of your stomach. You're also having strained smoothies. So in my case, I normally would have smoothies, fruit smoothies with like chia seeds in it, or flax seeds. No flax seeds, no chia seeds. If you're doing something like strawberry, you have to strain that out so that you're just getting full liquid. You don't want anything that's gonna mess you up, or that could possibly cause an abscess. I don't know what's. You don't want any of those little food particles getting in there and causing an abscess, because that'll set you back, honey. Set you back post-op, and you don't want to have to go under the knife again to clear an abscess when it could have been prevented. Just, So yeah, then stage 3, you're having soft foods. So in my case, I have
Baby Bell cheese and applesauce, mashed up sweet potatoes. I had a bad experience with rice and eggs, and up until today, I don't really eat them anymore.
more fuller soups. This is when I started getting comfortable having more of like a split pea soup or something like that. But as you can see, as the weeks go on, you're progressing and you're eating more food. So if you're eating more food-like things instead of just consuming liquids, of course you're gonna start to gain, or you're not going to be losing. So in my case, the amount that I was losing each week was going down. So it went from 8.5 pounds the first week post-op to 6.5 second week post-op to, I think, third week it was like 4 pounds, and then every week following that it would be like 2 or 3 pounds each week, until eventually I reached a plateau, and it was so frustrating. I was like, what the hell is going on? I knew that I wasn't as focused and as diligent with sticking to the post-op plan as I should have been. Life gets in the way. So I just kind of had to refocus and re-strategize and figure out, okay, what should I do next? So keep that in mind. And one of the sucky things about surgery like this is almost kind of start to self-sabotage, because you're thinking to the future and being like, oh, well, I don't want to lose my weight too fat so that I have too much flabby skin. So maybe if I slow my weight loss down, I'll have less flabby skin, and then I won't need like skin removal surgery. So then you start self-sabotaging and you critique yourself in a way that is almost borderline eating disorder type of way. You're super hyper focused and hyper conscious of everything you're putting into your mouth, and it can go one of two ways. So it could go that way of where you're like, yeah, I don't want the flabby skin, so I'm gonna try to eat a little extra so that I don't lose as much weight. Or it could go the other way where you're like, no, I'm gonna restrict more, I'm losing the weight and it feels good, and I just want to continue to get smaller and smaller and smaller super fast. So I'm going to restrict my caloric intake to X, Y, and Z amount per day. Or instead of eating 2 ounces, I'm going to eat 1, just little stuff like that. So your mental health going into surgery is super important, and keeping in touch with a mental health professional during your journey is also super important. Because you will have those moments where you start to feel not so sane, and it's important to have somebody who can set you straight and reframe your thinking for you in a way that maybe you're not able to do for yourself when you're in the thick of it, So just taking a look at my notes here. Some things to keep in mind as well. Pace yourself. This is not just a 30-day weight loss quick fix, go, and look, I've lost 15 pounds and life is good. No, this is a lifestyle change. So because it is a lifestyle change, you do want to pace yourself in a way that you're doing activities and consuming foods that you think that you can continue to do throughout your lifespan. Just do activities that make you happy, things that you enjoy. So like for me, I enjoy swimming. Unfortunately, post-op, it's not wise to go in a shared swimming pool, and because of COVID, that just makes it doubly unsafe. So I haven't been swimming yet, but I do plan to go swimming in the next week or 2. So I'm looking forward to that. But I also enjoy going to the gym. So about 6 weeks post-op, I felt safe enough to revisit the gym. So I started with low weights and, just taking my time. I think my first visit to the gym only lasted about 15 minutes, which is laughable for me because my mom will tell you, if I go to the gym, I'm usually going for like an hour and a half. I will be all up and through there. I'm trying to work my whole body, full body workout style, right? But no, I was just so tired, and again, you don't have food and much food, you're not consuming much food, and food is fuel. And without that fuel, you can't be energized to get through a full workout. So 6 weeks post-op, your stomach is fresh. You're just trying not to push it too far all the time. So I think on that day, I probably hadn't had much to eat. And again, I hadn't worked out in 7 weeks, so I was kind of nervous. And my mom also warned me before I went in. She's like, please do not go hard. You don't want to do any permanent damage, so please take it easy. So I did take it easy. And yeah, that first workout only lasted 15 minutes. But at the end of it, I was still hella proud of myself because I'm like, you know what? I made a step in the right direction. I did something that is only gonna positively benefit me. So kudos. You're not always gonna be able to work out for half an hour or an hour and a half. Sometimes it will only be 15 minutes, 20 minutes. It depends on what your schedule looks like, So you just do the best you can every day. And that was my first workout, 15 minutes. And then I think a couple days later, I went back and I was able to go for 30 minutes. And now I'm going from anywhere from 45 minutes to an hour. So it's a good feeling to be back in the gym, getting back at it, lifting them weights. Yeah. So yeah, figure out what activities it is that you love. Are you somebody who loves to go on nature walks? Then do that. Are you somebody who loves Zumba and dance classes like that? Then do that. Soca size, there's like so many classes out there. Are you somebody who likes spinning classes like Peloton or, something like that where you can just go hardcore? Do that. Are you somebody who likes to work out from the comfort of your living room? Do that. Whatever it is that makes you happy, you have to just find that and do that and continue doing it on a regular basis. Because consistency is key. When it comes to losing weight, you gotta be consistent. And recognize that it is only normal to slip back into old habits some of the time. I mean, you relied on those old habits as your comfort for decades, I'm sure. So it's like, it's not gonna disappear overnight. It takes time to unlearn those bad habits. And that's with anything, whether it be addiction to food, addiction to drugs, addiction to shopping, anything, So don't be too hard on yourself and just think of it in the way of remember that you're doing it because it works. You've done it in the past. It has made you feel better in times of distress. So that's why you're relying on the food. You're relying on the lack of exercise, the binging of Netflix, those sorts of things. Old habits die hard. If you do happen to slip into old bad habits and you do eat a cookie or two, first thing to focus on is acknowledge what happened. Call it out for what it is. I ate something unhealthy. I ate something I wasn't supposed to eat. I've done it. I can't go back in time. What can I do next? Identify your triggers. So what led up to you eating that unhealthy food? Were you having a stressful day at work? Did you and your spouse get into an argument? Identify it and name your feelings. I was angry, so I ate. I was sad, so I ate. I was hurt, so I ate. I was frustrated, so I ate. What was it? I was feeling anxious, so I ate. It could be anything, right? Instead of beating yourself up about falling back into old habits, focus on what you can do to move forward so that it's less likely to happen again. Have a plan in place so that next time you won't do it again and know when to stop indulging. It is so important to be cognizant of the food that we're eating and to know when to stop indulging. And that is something that clearly all of us struggle with, otherwise we wouldn't be getting this surgery, right? But it is something that you can help identify and work through with the help of a professional or a great support system. Thank you for coming by, and I do look forward to reading your comments, so feel free to drop one down below and let me know about your opinions, thoughts, experiences, all that. But yeah, I'm just really happy that you guys are here. So welcome, and
Thanks for watching, you guys.